Now at 9, how some community members come together to support the Special Olympics in Pittsburgh. Plus, local volunteers work together to restore a historic gym and community center in Missouri. And
it's the last day before the Super Bowl and the excitement is reaching a fever pitch. I'm Mallory Rivera in Glendale, Arizona with more on how fans and players are preparing for the big game.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cale Chapman. Special Olympics Kansas hosted their annual Polar Plunge fundraiser today. KOAM's Yana Adala has more.
Southeast Kansas residents jumped in the pool at the Crimson Villas in Pittsburgh to raise money for a good cause for Special Olympics Kansas.
People from all over Southeast Kansas raised money to help our athletes have competitions and programs that they can do year-round.
A total of 121 plungers in 21 teams jumped in the chilly water.
This is a law enforcement torch run event, so the law enforcement torch run's responsibility is to raise money and awareness for Special Olympic athletes. So police officers from all over the world do events like this, and this is just one of our largest events in Southeast Kansas and brings in a lot of money.
Participants are excited about the event and helping the community any way they can.
It's pretty darn cold. I think that we were lucky that it was sunny out, and we're happy about that, but we're happy to be here to participate and support the Special Olympics and do our part to be a good part of the community and to be a good neighbor.
Fletcher says the amount of participants is bigger than it has been for a long time. They also have well over 20 sponsors to help the athletes' journeys.
Athletes mean so much to us, and we want to make sure that they're able to have these programs and these competitions and that it's free of charge for them, and so that we want to be able to provide these different things for them so that they're able to get out into the community and be celebrated for the talents and skills that they have.
In Pittsburgh, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
Officials estimate that at the end of the day, they have collected over $30,000 for Special Olympics Kansas. Carterville citizens gathered today to restore the historic Carterville Gym and Community Center. Volunteers painted and repaired windows, ceilings, and lighting. Volunteers sourced material donations from vendors, so the repairs were at no cost to taxpayers. Work began to remodel the lobby, hallway, and community room in November.
Yeah, to me, it just warms my heart that my vision, I guess if you want to call it anything, from years past is, towns just don't grow and improve themselves. Caring people grow and improve their towns. That's on the back of my business card as mayor, and I had that thought before I even intended to run for mayor. So,
the gym was originally built in 1954 for Carterville High School. The Joplin Public Library hosted its annual community-focused Black History Fair today. The fair featured a special presentation from the Alexander Madison chapter of the Kansas City Buffalo Soldiers. The presentation detailed the evolution of African American soldiers from the Civil War to their influence in World War II and the Korean War.
We kind of acknowledged that, there are, as the library, what we do is share resources with people. And so a great resource is these community organizations. They're doing really important work in the Black community in Joplin, and so as the library we want to highlight that and introduce people who may not know about them. We want to introduce people to them.
The fair was free to the public. First Community Church in Joplin hosted a chocolate festival today to raise money for the philanthropic educational organization. The festival offered visitors chocolate party trays, pies, cakes, and cookies for any Super Bowl party, as well as a salad lunch.
Well, last year, because of COVID, we had to cancel, and that we thought, okay, maybe we just won't do this again, because it's a lot of work and preparation, but it's one day and then it's over. And so brought it up, and they said, oh, of course we're going to do the chocolate festival, and we had some plans that got canceled. So, and then we were worried people would forget about it or not ever, but nope, they didn't.
Philanthropic educational organization provides educational opportunities for women. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Cale. It's been a beautiful day across the 4 states. Lots of sunshine, light winds, and warm temperatures. Radar is clear. It's going to stay that way for another couple of days. As we go through the overnight hours, we're going to see temperatures dropping down through the 30s, all the way down into the upper 20s by morning. And the winds are going to be picking up tomorrow, especially in the morning off towards the west. And in the afternoon, we'll see temperatures in the 50s, but wind speeds will be around 20 to 25 miles per hour out there. Then as we go through time, those winds kind of shift more to the south and east, and by Monday, winds will be a little bit lighter across our area. Looking down the road, we have a warm Sunday on tap and then increasing clouds Monday with some rainy hearts for your Valentine's Day and an Arctic chill later on in the week. And I'll tell you all about that when we come back with weather in just a little bit.
One of Donald Trump's attorneys recently testified before a federal grand jury about the former president's handling of national security records at his Mar-a-Lago residence. Attorney Evan Cochran appeared in a Washington, D.C. court last month for roughly 4 hours. He was asked about evidence that investigators believe show classified records kept at Mar-a-Lago were moved and concealed, and also about the events that led up to the search in August of 2022. As well as his interactions with the former president. Cochran declined to answer some questions that would have divulged his advice to Trump and their conversations, citing attorney-client privilege. Another high-altitude object was shot down over American territory just days after a Chinese spy craft was downed off the coast of South Carolina. The White House says the aerial object was seen flying above Alaska Friday and that it presented a reasonable threat to civilian aircrafts. Alexandria Hoff is in Washington.
Well, Republicans and Democrats are expressing agreement in that given Alaska's location, airspace security, particularly there, must be proven effective. Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy issued a statement following the object being shot down. He expressed concern over repeat airspace intrusions, writing, quote, "If the last few days are any indication, this may be the new norm and we must be prepared." Governor Dunleavy continued that this latest breach raises questions about the Biden administration not shooting down the Chinese spy craft before it maneuvered across the lower 48, a sentiment that fellow Republican Senator Roger Wicker shares.
The administration officials were really patting themselves on the back for the very professional and studied way that they had handled the situation, letting it go not only all the length of Alaska, but back into the continental United States and all the way to the Atlantic. So I'm glad that that it's clear that they're not going to use this sort of procedure again.
Senator Wicker is ranking member on the Senate Armed Services Committee, which Democratic Senator Tim Kaine serves on as well. He weighed in, saying these recent incidents have pushed ensuring sovereign airspace to the forefront.
You can be sure that both in the Foreign Relations and the Armed Services Committee, as we shape the defense bill throughout the spring, incidents like this are going to get a lot of attention, and especially to make sure we're making the investments we need to keep everyone safe.
Senator John Tester, a Democrat, has been outspoken about the Biden administration's handling of the Chinese spy craft. The Senate held its first public hearing on that response Thursday, the same day this object was detected. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll take a look at a diabetic shot that social media users are saying is helping them lose weight. If you have spring sniffles early, you're not alone. Health experts in Georgia say allergy season may just be around the corner. The Atlanta Allergy and Asthma Group say pollen counts have been in the high range earlier than usual. The trend means that allergy sufferers may need to stock up on over-the-counter medicines and other natural remedies sooner than later. Some doctors also say it may be better for people allergic to pollen to schedule outdoor activities after a rainfall because pollen washes away with the wet weather. Chemicals found in products including fragrances, shampoo, and soap may increase the risk of diabetes in women. Phthalates are chemicals that strengthen the durability of plastics and are used in many personal hygiene products. Researchers from the University of Michigan examined more than 1,300 American women over 6 years. They found that those exposed to the chemicals have a 30 to 63% higher chance of developing type 2 diabetes, especially white women. The diabetes shot Ozempic has been gaining traction on social media for its ability to help patients lose fat. Fox's Regina Ann has more on that story.
This clinic here in Henderson offers the Ozempic shot, and while it is available, there are some things that you should know before getting the shot.
I took Ozempic for about a month. It worked very well. I lost almost 10 pounds in about 3 weeks. A lot of the popular ones.
Chrissy O'Connell is the owner and one of the nurse practitioners at Health Express in Henderson. Her story is what has been the talk of the town, losing weight with Ozempic.
Health Express Medical Center, my name.
The clinic in its second year is a walk-in clinic as well as a primary care facility. 3 weeks ago, O'Connell introduced Ozempic to her patients.
Person to person and your BMI, how much you weigh. There's other factors if you have comorbidities.
So Ozempic is an anti-diabetic drug. However, it's also a drug that's used for weight management and long-term weight management. It's also known as semaglutide or Wegovy, but Ozempic is for both of those.
Christina Kovac is a provider at Health Express. She says she's seen about 50 people who have asked for Ozempic specifically.
It helps the body increase caloric burning and also helps the body burn stored fat.
Ozempic originally was an injectable medication used to help control blood sugar for those with type 2 diabetes. Now, with the help of social media, it's become quite the popular drug for weight loss. The drug is not FDA approved. However, the exact same drug under a different name, Wegovy, is. Leanna Oswald is a pharmacist and associate dean professor of pharmacy at Roseman University. She says people should know this isn't a magic potion.
They need to have failed diet and exercise alone before going on to the medication.
However, Oswald says for some people it can be a great resource. It could help with prevention of cardiovascular disease for those who cannot lose weight with diet and exercise. But following trends on social media is not the best thing to do for your health.
There is a space for any weight loss drugs to be added on for patients who have been struggling, who are overweight or obese, especially those with comorbid conditions like heart disease, diabetes, where these medications can be highly beneficial. A cool TikTok craze can end a lot of people in the hospital and can get them sick.
In extreme cases, Oswald says thyroid cancer has been detected during animal studies, and she urges those who are pregnant or could be pregnant prone to gallstones to talk with a doctor further.
Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later on in sports, two local college rivals battle head-to-head. Jacob Leonard will have the highlights in sports.
Boy, we have had a beautiful start to the weekend with lots of sunshine and light winds today and no precipitation, of course. And it's continuing that way this evening down in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice night shaping up across the entire area with temperatures dropping down into the 30s. So it's a little bit chilly, but that is typical for this time of year. We started out at 19 this morning, which was way below the normals of 28. And this afternoon we made it up to 51, which was a couple of degrees above the normal, high of 49. 82, wouldn't that feel nice? Back in 2017 on this day, but -8. So it can be quite varied across this area, across this time of year. But of course, that's typical for the 4 states as well. Right now it's freezing with a dew point of 20 degrees, visibility 10 miles, humidity 61%. And thank goodness that wind is calm. Otherwise, we would have a wind chill. Right now, we're looking at mostly fair skies over our area. But notice just to the west, we have the next storm system starting to organize across the Rocky Mountains. And here's a big piece of that energy that's diving down towards the south and east. That's going to eject out into the plains as we go into Tuesday. And that's why we're thinking the best chance of rain is going to come back into our picture. And then we have another storm system behind that one and then behind that one. So we have several to go. Right now, generally, readings are in the 30s for the most part, 32 in Joplin, 33 in Lamar. And you can see light and variable winds across the area. And when you factor in the dew point, we're seeing dew points in the teens off to the east and 20s and mid-20s out to the west. So you can see the winds are kind of bringing up the moisture again back towards the west, and that's going to be meeting up with the storm system as we go through time. All right, let's take a look at the future track forecast. We're going to see temperatures tonight in the 20s and 30s, basically right back where they are right now with south winds. Then as we go through the day tomorrow, increasing clouds, but temperatures should still make it into the mid to upper 50s across the area. But notice a front up to the north and west. That's going to slide our way late Sunday night into Monday morning with lows in the 30s and 20s, especially up towards the north and west. And then Monday afternoon, that slides all the way through, but highs should still make it into the mid to upper 50s across the area. Then as we go into Monday night, notice the showers start to develop and move across our area. And by Tuesday morning, we'll see a widespread area of rain with temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. How much rainfall? Well, Monday night into Tuesday morning, we're going to see rainfall amounts generally around half an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch, especially in southeastern Kansas. And these folks really need the rainfall bad as the drought is continuing. How about the Super Bowl forecast? 67, 69, and 57 during the game. So it looks like a pretty nice day for the Eagles to be defeated. All right, let's take a look at the next 7 days. We're looking at rain on Tuesday, and then as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that's when we have another shot of some precipitation in the form of a winter mix, and then colder on Thursday and Friday, but we warm back up as we head into the early part of the following week with more rain on Monday. So a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like I'm at Worlds of Fun right now.
That's exactly right.
It's a good time. All right, well, thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Coming up, we'll take a look at how inflation is affecting your taxes this year. Tax filers in some states may be paying more than they expect due to inflation. A recent Tax Foundation analysis says 15 states didn't adjust tax brackets to inflation to avoid bracket creep. The IRS does adjust tax brackets at the federal level when high inflation is happening to make sure taxpayers aren't losing ground against higher costs. But some states don't build cost of living adjustments into their brackets, leading to a, quote, hidden tax. Those looking to rent on a small break on prices in January, real estate brokerage firm Redfin says rental unit prices had its smallest upticks in price since May of 2021. That's because demand for rents are falling as more units hit the market. Experts say if prices fall year over year, renters may have more negotiating power for their units. Newly released data shows December consumer prices rose from the month before instead of falling as previously thought. When the Bureau of Labor and Statistics released the raw data, prices were down 0.1% last month. But after the agency recalculated it for seasonal factors like weather events, holidays, etc., the consumer price index went up 0.1% in December. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen have both urged people not to read too much into any one data point. Up next, how a few governors decided to have some fun on their own for Super Bowl Sunday. As is a tradition for the Super Bowl, the governors from the two teams' home states are making a friendly wager. But this year, there are 3 governors and 2 sets of wagers. They're putting up food and flags.
We're going to take Kansas City Chiefs flags down there and some Philadelphia Eagle flags on Saturday, and we're going to exchange them and autograph each one of them. And the loser is going to fly the other flag in their state capital once the Super Bowl is over.
I'm willing to double down with another major Chiefs fan. That's Kansas Governor Laura Kelly. I'm going to pull together a whole bunch of great items from local small businesses in southeastern Pennsylvania. Cheesesteaks, soft pretzels, donuts from some of the finest small businesses.
I'm more than happy to take you on, so I'll join you in doubling down by adding to that bet 2 of my favorite things from Kansas: Creekstone Farms Black Angus beef and chocolate-covered sunflower seeds.
Governor Kelly referred to her own doubling down. The first Super Bowl bet she made was at the start of the NFL season when she placed the first legal sports wager in Kansas, betting on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports are coming your way. Coming up, how the Oklahoma school districts are handling the claims of pornography being given to students. Oklahoma's top education official claims some schools are giving pornography to students. But the school districts are pushing back. Wayne Stafford has that story.
This week, State Superintendent Ryan Walters retweeted a post from the account Libs of TikTok saying what they call a pornographic book called Let's Talk About It was available to OKCPS students. The account also claimed the book was available at a Putnam City school as well. Putnam City Public Schools and OKCPS both say the book isn't available anywhere in their districts. But still, Superintendent Walters says that he's planning to take action.
I talked to parents in all 77 counties over the last 2 years that are so frustrated with the pornographic and sexual material being given over to their students. I said I would start from day one to ensure that this is not going to continue to happen in the state of Oklahoma. Tomorrow, we will be announcing a rule that we have been developing here with our legal counsel that will hold districts accreditation accountable for when they allow this type of sexual material available to students.
Walters tells me that this will be similar to House Bill 1775, the state's ban on critical race theory that led to the downgrade of accreditation of 2 school districts.
Similar because the issue at stake here is accreditation. So to be a public school in the state of Oklahoma, you have to do certain things to be accredited, and then you have to show maintenance on those different standards to maintain that accreditation. But what we've seen here is when you break state law and you put pornography in front of minors, that accreditation should be at stake.
Walters tells me OKCPS and Putnam City Public Schools could face repercussions.
That's what our legal department is looking at right now. It's a matter of when we institute the rule, we think that will give us much more direct authority.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now.
All right, it's been a beautiful day across the 4 states. Lots of sunshine, light winds, and warmer temperatures. Radar is all clear. And over the last 36 hours, yesterday was on the cool side with temperatures only in the 30s. We dropped all the way down into the teens this morning. But boy, this afternoon, because of all the dry air, we really soared up into the 50s this afternoon. Winds are going to be the big story tomorrow, especially in southeastern Kansas, where we could see gusts over 20 miles per hour. So please be careful with any outdoor flames tomorrow. And then as we go through time, winds are going to start to decrease as we move into Monday. Looking down the lane, we are going to have a pretty nice day on Sunday, increasing clouds Monday with some rainy hearts on Tuesday. And then an Arctic chill comes for a visit as we go in late to the week. And I'll have all the details on that coming up in your forecast, so stick around.
The number of people crossing the U.S. southern border illegally has dropped to the lowest levels in nearly 2 years, according to Border Patrol. The agency made less than 130,000 apprehensions in January. That's down 42% from December. Officials say a new program that allows some migrants to apply for entry from their home countries is contributing to the drop in border crossings. And the Biden administration is proposing new regulations to more household appliances. The proposal yesterday calls for tighter emission standards for refrigerators and clothes washers. The administration says the new rules would save 233 million metric tons in emissions over 30 years. Some experts say the regulations aren't necessary and costs to buy them will never make up the potential energy savings. A 16-year-old allegedly stabbed another teen to death inside a Minnesota high school. The community of St. Paul is now in mourning as other students struggle to come to terms with the tragedy. Alan Henry reports.
It was really, really scary knowing that something like that happened inside of my school with me in there.
About 2 miles away from Harding High School, community members gathered inside the Indigenous Roots Arts Center to grieve together and process the deadly stabbing of a 15-year-old student.
I don't even want to go to my school anymore because of how unsafe that I feel.
It's a place they say that's never really felt safe.
I'd say every month we have about 2 lockdowns or hold-in places, whether it's a fight, a gun incident, or whatever it may be. It happens quite frequently, so it's kind of just a norm here at Harding.
St. Paul police say it started as a fight before noon. After the boy was stabbed, staff members gave first aid, but he later died at the hospital. Students say they heard about what happened by texting each other, including videos of the brawl.
We've never had police have to come into our school and put crime scene tape in our hallways. That's never had to happen before. And that happened right outside the hallway where I was in.
Hours later, emotions poured out and students hugged each other and found their parents. Those students say they want to see change, but aren't sure if it will happen.
I'm really hopeful for something to change, but with the past patterns that the school system has kept, I don't think anything will change.
I hope it does, but truthfully, I feel like people are going to move on from this in a week or so, except for the students at Harding, because we know that stuff like this is going to happen.
Still ahead, we'll take a look at how fans that traveled to Arizona are preparing for the big day.
Well, we have started off the weekend right with light winds and lots of sunshine and warm temperatures today. It was on the cold side this morning, but once the sun got out, it really warmed up quickly. Right now at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort in Seneca, Missouri, pretty nice night shaping up across the entire area. As I mentioned, we did start off pretty chilly, 19 degrees this morning. Well, we made it up to 51, which was a couple of degrees above the normals of 49 and 28. Of course, we were way below on the low. Look at that 82 back in 2017, not that far ago. And for the rainfall this month so far, we've had 3 inches for the year, which is about ½ inch above normal. So that's a nice change. And we have more rain on the way. In fact, you can see the storm system organizing over the Rocky Mountains right now, and another piece of energy off the coast of California. That's all going to be pivoting out into the plains on Tuesday, and that's when the rain chances really start to increase. This afternoon, we made it into the lower 50s, a large part of real estate today. 52 in Afton, 52 also in Miami, 51 in Chanute, also Yates Center, 53 in Sedan, a little bit cooler off to the east. And temperatures now have dropped down into the 30s across our area, but that's pretty much where they're going to bottom out tonight, because the winds are going to turn around to the south and will arrest any falling temperatures. And then as we go through on the dew points, we're looking at dew points in the 20s and 30s and teens off towards these. So it's a little bit dry out there still. Right now in Joplin, it's 32 degrees. It feels like 32 because there's no wind. The visibility is 10 miles, but look at the dew point down there at 20, so there is lots of dry air. And the forecast, as we go through time, you'll see the winds coming around to the south tonight with lows pretty much right where they are. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to see clouds increasing from the south and west, but we should still make it into the upper 50s across the area. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 60-degree reading or two, like down in Bartlesville with 62. Then we have a front moving in from the north and west tomorrow night into Monday morning. Really, it's more of a wind shift line rather than a cold front. And then as that sweeps by, we'll see temperatures in the afternoon on Monday still making it to the upper 50s. And then as we go through Monday night into Tuesday, we'll start to see the rain start to move in from the west and east. And by Tuesday morning, we're going to see a wide shield of rain across the area ahead of that storm system. Then that will rapidly pull off towards the east. Rainfall amounts are generally going to be around ½ inch, maybe 3/4 inch in some local spots, especially in southeastern Kansas, where they desperately need more additional rainfall, and it looks like they're going to get it. How about the Super Bowl? Well, around 2 o'clock, 67 degrees, and 5 o'clock, 69, 57 by the game in. Looks like a pretty nice night there in Phoenix. And over the next 7 days, we're going to have a nice day tomorrow, 59 degrees, rain on Tuesday, and then maybe a winter mix late Wednesday into early Thursday. Much colder on Thursday and Friday, but don't worry, we warm right back up as we start the early part of next week with another round of rain.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's a healthy
We got a
mix.
mixed bag for everybody.
Yeah. It's like that Valentine's Day box of chocolates.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All righty. Well, thank you, Sam. Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch Weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. That's the KOAM Skywatch Weather app. And coming up in sports, Pitt State baseball hits the field for a doubleheader against Regis. Plus, the Gorillas and Lions meet for a rivalry game on the basketball court in Pittsburgh. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Well, this weekend is rivalry weekend for Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball. The Gorillas host the Lions today in their second meeting of the season. On the women's side, it's a battle of two of the best in the MIAA. The Gorillas won 10 of their last 12 games. Missouri Southern enters on a 9-game winning streak. Early on, Maddie Stokes working inside, scores and the foul. 11 points, 12 boards for Stokes. Southern opens the game with a 7-0 run. Late first, though, Tristan Gegg gets the hot hand, knocks down threes on consecutive possessions. Game tied at 17 after 1. Gegg leads PSU with 14 points. Lane Skiles really good for Southern early. 3 from the left side. Skiles hit her first 3 threes of the game, finishes with 13. Other end, Gegg, nice look to Corinna Gerber. 13 and 10 for Gerber. Pitt State leads by 8 at the break. Now to the third, Gorillas catch fire. Aaron Davis from the corner. Then Grace Pyle drives and scores. She gets 12 today. Jenna Shipley, great for the Gorillas, bucket and one here. Shipley, 11 points off the bench. Pitt State gets the lead to 20 in the third, but Lacey Stokes not letting her team go down without a fight. She scores 16, all in the second half. Lions actually cut the lead to 6 in the fourth, but the Gorillas hang on to win 74-64 to sweep the season series from the Lions.
It feels great. I think coming in from the first game after we played them, I think it had a lot of energy. from the team and each other, and we had more confidence in our defense especially. I think we really came together as a team and made sure that we could stick together, make sure we got stops, and then going score on the other side.
Defensively, we didn't do a good job keeping them in front. They got the ball around the rim, scored, they got to the free throw line a little bit, but they knocked shots down. They made shots, they made some nice mid-range jumpers, and again, defensively, we didn't do a very good job. And then offensively, I thought we rushed some things. We didn't get some good looks, which for them, that gets them in transition. When they're in transition, they're really good, moving the basketball, finding the open person, and then just making shots.
Now to the men's game. Southern trying to sweep the season series from Pittsburg State this afternoon. A hot start for the Gorillas. R.J. Forney, 3 from the far side. Forney hits 5 threes in the game, finishes with 17. Then Albert McBride finishes in transition. He also gets 17. Pitt State opens the game on a 17-2 run. After that, back and forth slugfest. Christian Bundy steps out for 3. He scores 15. The Marquis English, the Pittsburgh kid, leads Pitt State with 26. He goes 6 for 10 from deep. And check out Tane Prichter here, cleaning up the miss with the big putback jam. Prichter goes for 12 and 10. Winston Desiso, high scores tonight for Southern. Smooth pull up there. He gets 20. This one took overtime. Missouri Southern finishes it off tonight, 103-93. Well, the Pittsburg State baseball team won their opener last night, beating Regis 5-1 in Game 1 of a 4-game series. Well, those two teams are right back on the field today for a doubleheader in Pittsburgh. Starting with Game 1, Pitt State aiming for their 3rd straight win. Things are pretty good early. Kaysen Long out of a jam in the top of the 1st with a big strikeout. Then in the bottom half, 2 on for Nixon Brannon. Drills it to left, way out there. Bounces it off the street. 3-run jack for Brannon. The Gorillas go up 3-0. More from Long on the mound. Second inning, another strikeout. He strikes out 6 in just 3 2/3. Back to Nixon Brannon though. Had that 3-run jack last at bat. Very next pitch he sees, he does it again with 2 on. Puts it over there in the softball field bleachers. The Gorillas go up 10-0 in the 3rd today, but it didn't last. Regis gets 10 in the 5th and rallies to beat Pitt State in Game 1, 14-11. So in Game 2, the Gorillas try to bounce back and split the day. They're able to get it done in that one, winning 6-4. Nixon Brannon, another big game, going 2 for 4 with 3 more RBIs. Missouri Southern also playing a doubleheader, facing Delta State. Trying to bounce back after dropping Game 1 of the series last night. First one today, Southern wins a good one 5-4. Matt Miller and Ethan Clark each pick up a pair of RBIs. Then in Game 2, another good one, but Southern falls in that one 3-2. Matt Miller goes 2 for 3 with a double, a home run, and a pair of RBIs. Well, that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
We're just a day away from the big game, and players are getting their jitters out while fans are getting their tickets and Lucky Charms ready. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is in sunny Glendale, Arizona.
It's the last day before the big game, and spectators and players are busy getting ready. Last-minute Super Bowl fans arriving, taking over Sky Harbor Airport in Arizona.
Kansas City Chiefs! G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Fans may have bought their plane tickets, but not all may have game tickets.
80 for Brady's, and we thought, let's go, Goldies for my homies. And we're here trying to get into the Super Bowl.
For all the fun surrounding the Super Bowl, there are just as many heartwarming stories coming to light. Kansas City Chiefs fan John Gladwell and Philadelphia Eagles fan Billy Welsh met while serving in the Marines. When Welsh posted he needed a kidney on social media, Gladwell responded, despite their football rivalry.
I did have a rejection episode, and I do believe it was because it's a Kansas City kidney.
Now, more than 2 years after the successful operation, their teams are in the Super Bowl, and Gladwell and Welsh will be sitting next to each other on Sunday. The players have their final walkthroughs before the fans come flooding in. The coaches putting their final touches on the playbook. Chiefs head coach lookalike Matt Black can say things the real Andy Reid can't.
Hey, make sure you're watching the Super Bowl on Fox.
Celebrity fans are also making headlines before the game. First Lady and self-proclaimed Philly girl Jill Biden is cheering for the Eagles. She's expected to attend the game with her grandson. In Glendale, Arizona, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Up next, we'll take a look at some of the commercials you can expect to see during the Super Bowl. It's that time of year again, the one big television event where we don't skip through the commercials. Ivan Rodriguez previews what you'll see during the commercial breaks on Sunday and takes a look if those ads are worth it.
Popcorners are breaking bad.
What are these? We call them popcorners. Say their name.
Doritos are feeding a paparazzi frenzy.
Is it true about the love triangle?
Maybe.
Baby? You having a baby?
And M&Ms are going in a shocking new direction.
What does the world really want? Clams.
This year's supersized Super Bowl ads seem to have a little something for everyone.
Tell me more, tell me more.
It's the one day of the year that people aren't running in the opposite direction of the ads.
With viewership likely to be over 100 million, advertisers can make big gains by catching eyes during the big game. But with a 30-second spot going for $7 million, running an ad can also be a big gamble.
There's going to be maybe 60 commercials. We'll probably talk about 10 of them on Monday. So there's a big risk there.
If early previews are any indication, the big feature in this year's ads:
celebrities, celebrities, celebrities.
Major companies are banking on superstars to get that post-Super Bowl buzz.
Hello, I'm Sarah McLachlan.
Diddy don't do jingles.
Glennon says the most impactful ads, however, don't have to be star-studded. The key to success is creating a conversation.
That's going to be a big win. And absolutely, this Super Bowl is a great way to do that.
Well, I'm excited to see those ads.
Yeah, it's going to be funny.
Oh, for sure.
All right, well, let's take a look at the forecast. It's going to be great tomorrow for the game, 59 degrees. And then Tuesday, that's when the next chance of rain comes in. Then some of the models are indicating late Wednesday into early Thursday, we could get a winter mix, especially up to the north and west. We'll have a couple of days of cold weather. And then if we extend that out, it does get warm again towards next weekend with another chance of rain early the following week.
Gotcha.
But spring is around the corner.
Yeah. Get those umbrellas out this week.
That's exactly right.
Could be thawing out a little bit. All righty, well, that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of the Missouri Capitol all lit up for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.